The Florida Gators, I mean, the game isn't even officially over yet, but the Florida Gators just absolutely mollywopped Samford. Unsurprising victory. We're going to talk about that here on a first, now it's over, first celebration postcast of the season, Locked On Gators here.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. And man, 18 for 25 passing, 456 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 5 carries for 16 yards, was not sacked a single time. DJ Lagway, you are him. There's no other way to put it. I mean, that was just insane. I am going to throw a poll in the chat. 1 second. That's what we're doing. We're throwing a poll in the chat. Florida wins 45-7 because now the game is officially over. Last touchdown is Aiden Warner, who is from Yale, making his college debut, a redshirt freshman. And man, he completed 1 pass, threw the ball twice, and he had a wide open drop by Jackson Wade, and then he ran in a touchdown there. And I'm throwing a chat. I'm throwing a poll for the chat, and I'm so sorry because I want this to be what do you think happens, not what would you do, because I think everybody knows what they would do. But who starts when Graham Mertz is healthy? Graham Mertz or DJ Lagway? Personally, I think it'll be Graham Mertz. Donovan Robinson is in here talking trash about the Miami game, which I've said I'm wrong before, so it's fine. Find happiness, buddy. It's football. I will say that there. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. Fire Billy, you do great work. I love listening to you pick up trucks every morning. Yeah, I mean, look, I will say this. There were obviously some parts of the game that weren't perfect for DJ Lagway, right? I don't care about those. 456 yards. He was 27 yards away from setting the Florida Gators single game passing yardage record. In his first start ever, he was 27 yards away from beating a Tim Tebow record. I don't care about the negatives. There are negatives. We'll talk about negatives a little bit, of course. Like, you know how we do it here. We acknowledge the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't even remember if I introduced myself. I don't care. This is Locked On Gators. I'm Brandon Olsen. Damn! The Florida Gators have their starting quarterback of the future, assuming they can keep him in there. And look, DJ Lagway, the question was never really about his talent. It was how he would react on the field, how he would react in live game situations, how he'd handle pressure, how he would read coverages and more complex defenses than he saw when he was quarterbacking Willis on his way to winning the National Gatorade Player of the Year, on his way to becoming the highest ranked quarterback in the entire country, 3rd highest ranked recruit in the entire country last year. Man, yeah, so I will say this, because I know that a bunch of people are now, so I see people in the chat saying it. I've seen people on Twitter all day saying it, of how DJ should have started the Miami game, how he should have started the entire summer. It should have been his job, all that stuff. I understand it, and I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I understand it. And here's the thing also, like I've said, with certain quarterback things, like you don't want to push a guy out there before it's too soon, before he's ready, all that stuff. I get it. I think we've passed that point, though. You put DJ Lagway in there. He had 456 passing yards. I thought he did a really good job of handling pressure. I thought he did oh my. This kid's deep ball is just wild. Mr. Murphy's in here throwing a little fit. I don't know what he's so sensitive about. My goodness, be happy, man. Yeah, I think like DJ Lagway's deep ball is just like chef's kiss. Just a chef's kiss. Arm talent was never the question, so we know that. We kind of expected that. We know that if you're putting together a if you're creating a quarterback in Madden, it's probably DJ Lagway, right? Cannon for an arm, elite athleticism, great size already. Like he's already physically fit. It was literally just all about the mental aspect of this. Like you watch his high school film, and I will say this also. And I tweeted this during the game. I'm not one that usually drinks the high school film Kool-Aid, but DJ Lagway is the only kid I've done that. Mr. Murphy, I've never seen you before in my life. So you told me all summer, I've never seen you before in my life. So you've told the void all summer. But DJ Lagway physically is just him. No other way to put it. Him. I think that the biggest area where he needs to improve isn't even the bad reads part. I think it's about just making better decisions in general. There was the one throw he threw into triple coverage. There was a couple times where he would scramble and get really physical and aggressive, which like I fully understand. You're a big quarterback. You're a built quarterback. Impose your will. I understand that completely. My take on it is maybe don't impose your will against Samford. That's literally my only take on DJ Lagway imposing his will, is just maybe don't do it against Samford. Like, don't put yourself in danger against Samford. I also know there were a couple of targeting calls against him there. Okay, I need to say something real quick, just because I keep seeing the comment of "say you were wrong, bro." I don't know what I was wrong about. I will say that I don't know what I was wrong about. But this Murphy guy is really upset. Like I said, there are risks with starting a true freshman quarterback, but one of those risks is as simple as this. You started him and he balled out. It's his. Like I don't know how you go back to Graham Mertz. I think Billy Napier will go back to Graham Mertz. I just don't know how you do it. I also don't know what this guy thinks I'm upset about. 60% say in the poll, 60% said DJ Lagway. I don't buy it. I just don't. I think that Graham will get the starting spot regardless of what anybody thinks. And I think that's just where we're at. That's just the truth at this point. We kind of know what Billy Napier's planning on doing usually, and a lot of those is predictable. I will say this: there were two players out there that should never touch the field again. Damian George and Cameron Waits. By the way, for evaluating this, because I saw someone mention 456 passing yards, and the person in the comments said, who cares that it was against Samford? To do that in any way is impressive. I agree. I don't care who you played against when you had 456 passing yards. It's impressive. So yeah, it's impressive there. I don't know why this guy's obsessed with saying that I'm mad. I'm having a great time. Florida found an elite quarterback prospect. But 456 passing yards on 18 completions is impressive against anyone. And so for me, that's just a really impressive thing that DJ Lagway did. It was a great game. Again, like the deep ball was working. How about that? Hayden Hansen, 2 catches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 catches, 46 yards, including a 38-yarder, or a 40-yarder. Sorry, his previous long was 38. This is Samford. Yes, let's keep this in perspective. You can still celebrate that people looked good. Like I've covered the NFL draft for about 8 years now. Okay. I don't care who you're playing against. There are things that you do, and you can say it doesn't matter who he's playing against. That looks good, right? Like DJ Lagway's arm talent. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you have a good arm, you have a good arm. It pops. DJ Lagway's athleticism. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you're athletic, you're athletic. Okay? Things like that don't matter. Okay? So for all the it's Samford, I don't care. Again, you can do things that are impressive against anybody. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. That's the thing too. Because these people keep saying this is Samford. Keep this in perspective. We are. This is Samford. You found a kid that played really well and handled things really well. And that's impressive, right? I think in any way, shape, or form, that's impressive. What DJ Lagway did was impressive. I don't care if it was against Samford. It was impressive, right? Sure, things don't break your way as often. Like you don't get the pop pass touchdown probably with Trey Wilson there. You don't get probably the Aiden Mizell touchdown if you're going up against an SEC DB. That doesn't make what DJ Lagway did any less impressive, okay? I want to make that clear. He balled the hell out. Also, your team just had a blowout win. I understand morale is low in Gainesville. I understand. I've spent hours this week in Twitter spaces talking about who's going to be the next head coach of the Florida Gators, and Billy Napier's still here. But here's the thing. You don't need to be so upset about everything. You can celebrate that you looked good and that you had good players show promise. Tank Hawkins had his first career touchdown. Aiden Mizell had his first career touchdown. DJ Lagway had his first career touchdowns. Trey Wilson had his first career 100-yard game. Like you could celebrate things. You could be happy about some things. Maybe lighten up a little bit. We will get into the chat. As always, our postcast, we're getting to the chat. We will be active with all of you next on Locked On Gators. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships. And it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level up to peak performance with superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your parts guaranteed to fit your ride every time. Every time. Or your money back. With eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. For the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart. I don't care about that, honestly. Protein Plus, I do care about that. And Keto, I do care about that. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Like I said, Protein Plus on days that I work out, Keto on days where I don't work out. That's the carb cycle here. Head to factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50 and use code lockedoncollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code lockedoncollege50 at factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day, every day. We are available daily and free breakfast in the podcast and on YouTube. I will say, we are no longer acknowledging this is against Samford. You're an idiot if you don't realize that. Just want to throw that out there. However, again, you can take things that are good against anybody, like DJ Lagway, the arm talent. That's good no matter who your competition is, because that's you. Again, maybe throws break different ways. Maybe you can't make some decisions there. But arm talent, that's you. We can celebrate arm talent. We can celebrate athleticism. We can celebrate Aiden Mizell, Tank Hawkins' speed. We could celebrate them catching their first career touchdown passes, right? We can also acknowledge that there are some negative things. And again, if you have anything to say in the chat, say it. We'll try to get to as much as we can. I see it popping off. There's a lot of messages in there right now, which thank you again, by the way. This is our first live postcast from an actual desk. Last week, I went live after the Miami game from my phone in the stands as my phone was dying, so it was very quick. But this is the first one from home, from my desk, talking about the actual Florida Gators game live here, and it never gets old to me. I love it. Again, you can see good things, and you can definitely see bad things against any team, right? Like this was Samford. We watched Damian George and Cameron Waits get beat multiple times, badly beat multiple times. You can't block FCS linemen. We're going to be in trouble. And there can be NFL FCS linemen, right? Last time Florida played Samford, there was an NFL FCS wide receiver, Montreal Washington. He's still in the NFL. Montreal Washington is there. But if you can't beat these FCS linemen, because again, there can be NFL FCS linemen, we do not just think that every one of them will be, right? That is the exception to the rule. That's an outlier. And Damian George and Cameron Waits struggled blocking FCS linemen. Arliss Boardingham had a few reps where he lost blocking-wise against FCS linemen. Stuff like that just can't happen, right? And we saw this last year when Florida played Charlotte. They won 22-7. And part of it was that they could not impose their will against Charlotte. For a good bit of this game, they could not impose their will against Samford. Rough stuff. Brandon Alger, we very rarely agree, but you nailed that one on the head right there. What a wild take. Bro has been playing too much college football 25. My goodness. We'll scroll up a bit and then we're just gonna go there. What's funny about DJ being elite? Did you watch the game? Don't know who you're responding to there. The QB fits Billy's O and toxic fans still not happy. We'll elaborate on that at another time. We'll elaborate on some of these at another time. I will say commended to the offense. I'm assuming you meant commanded the offense. I think the last time you played Samford, you gave up 52 points, so I guess that's improvement. I didn't do anything. A good arm's great, but reads against SEC talent is a very difficult challenge. Yes, it is. But like I said, we can still celebrate the good things. We don't have to go, oh, he did this well, but he made these errors. I don't care about that. What you do well is what you do well. And we could still acknowledge those things while saying he's not perfect, you know? Again, I think that Billy Napier will go back to Graham Mertz once Graham Mertz clears. It was interesting to me just how confident the commentators were about Graham Mertz's status for next week. Because again, to play in a game, you got to pass concussion protocol. And even if you're making progress, it's not linear. It doesn't mean that you're definitely going to be ready if you've been making progress. But the commentators were so adamant Graham Mertz will be back next week. And that was just interesting to me because that implies two things to me. One, you're just saying things that you don't actually know, which is very possible. They said quite a few things that didn't make a ton of sense. There's a reason that they were calling an FCS game. They said quite a few things that didn't make a ton of sense to me. Or you know something, which I don't think you do. So I'll say that. Enjoy being shocked when we finish 2-10 and Lagway transfers to Texas. I will never be shocked with anybody leaving after a head coach gets fired, which is still likely the outcome. So nope. And the Aiden Mizell pass was great. The Aiden Mizell pass was an NFL throw. And I know that, again, like I said, I have covered the NFL draft for 7-ish years now. That's an NFL throw, first off. And people are looking at that already and going, all right, we're going to be watching him as an NFL draft prospect in a couple of years, regardless of where he's at, just because he has the physical traits. And that's what we're talking about. The Aiden Mizell pass, again, was a beauty, like stepping up through pressure, navigating, keeping your eyes downfield, making the throw on the move. Like, that was chef's kiss right there. You don't get much better than those kinds of throws. But again, like I said earlier in the show, if you're throwing that against an SEC team, you probably don't complete it. Just because an SEC DB is probably going to make a more athletic play on that than a Samford DB. But that doesn't mean we can't celebrate it. Because again, I still think on paper, that's still one of those throws where you go, man, even if it's incomplete, we'll take you just having the opportunity to make that kind of play, right? Refs did their best to give Auburn a win today. At least Florida lost to a good ACC team. That's all I'm saying. I keep seeing people say our D sucks, but I thought they played better and more aggressive, more tackles for a loss and sacks. So with the defense, I'm kind of torn on some things. Yeah, more tackles for a loss, more sacks. You have to do that against an FCS opponent. Like that's the thing. Because for me, the biggest difference between FCS and like SEC or any other FBS program is that you should have just better athletes on the field, right? That should be the guarantee. You should have better athletes on the field. You should have guys that can blow up their offensive line. You've got guys that are practicing for Sundays. They've got some guys that might be practicing for Sundays, and a bunch of other guys that are going, hey, we know that this is probably our last hurrah, but we're going to live it up. Like that's there's a big difference there. Your defense should dominate. I still think we saw a couple too many missed tackles. I still think that some things shouldn't have happened. And the boneheaded errors. Samford scored 7 points, right? On a drive that was extended by Jason Marshall taking a kid to Suplex City, right? It was number 84, I think. Forgot, right? I'm trying to see the name of him, but I'm not seeing any. Okay. Took a kid to Suplex City, right? Stuff that you can't really do. And he did it anyway. And not saying that that's horrendous, but that's now the second time in 2 weeks that the Florida Gators have given up a first touchdown of the game because of a personal foul. Justice Boone roughing the passer against Cam Ward, and then Jason Marshall, Suplex City. So things like that just can't happen. Because again, this was an FCS team that you were shutting out, and then you had that happen, and it gave up a touchdown afterward. Things like that just can't happen. And yeah, Emory Jones smoked Samford, and he wasn't very good. Not for nothing. Emory Jones is in the NFL right now. So that's not your best case. Even if you're bad in the NFL, you're in a very select group of people. I'm not even going to bat for Emory. I'm just saying that matters, right? But yeah, I mean, DJ Lagway popped. There's no other way to talk about it. Like he popped, he showed what he can do. And I think he kind of just kicked the door down as far as like, I'm here, like I'm ready to do this. And I think that, again, Billy will try to start Graham Mertz at first, but the thing is, people are not going to take kindly to that. And like, people aren't going to take kindly to starting Graham over DJ after what DJ did. But also, the second Graham makes a mistake, the second Graham gets sacked trying to extend a play when he probably shouldn't be trying to, fans are going to call for DJ. Like, it's just going to happen. The second we watch a quarter with no deep shot attempts, it's going to happen. I'm also curious to see how Graham handles it when he gets back on the field, because there is the possibility that Graham knows there's a 5-star QB just breathing down my neck right now. I need to make plays happen, and I don't want him to press those plays and make some mistakes. If he's out there, obviously, I want the Florida Gators to win. I agree that there needs to be a new head coach. I agree that there needs to be a lot of changes. I will still want the Florida Gators to win every single day, and I will still celebrate every single win. Some don't hit as well as others. You know, Charlotte last year, I was in here mad as hell. Utah 2022, I was talking about some negatives, and people were talking about me being the guy that's going to piss in people's cereal. There are wins that will be talked about not as positively. As far as this game against Samford goes, you won 45-7, which, by the way, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the spread was 37.5, so you won by exactly 38. So you covered the spread, not that specifically matters. But you went out there and handled business, right? You blew out a team you were supposed to blow out. You had a quarterback, a true freshman quarterback, make his first career start and ball out. I don't care about anything else right now. Florida had a great game. They played well, and they made some great plays there. Billy Napier said the offensive staff called plays and that labeling a play caller is overrated. I'm sure that'll go over well there. I'm not going to make many comments on that right now, but man, Florida just made they played a great game. We understand things are going to get worse and things are going to get rougher as the schedule opens up to the SEC. DJ Lagway's him. I will be happy about that. Some other true freshmen, LJ McCray, made some good plays. Mekhi Boy Rowe played a good amount against Miami and made some plays tonight against Samford. There are things. No, Mr. Murphy. Okay. Mr. Murphy, here's the thing. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you're watching on mute. I said I would start DJ Lagway. And I want DJ Lagway to start, but I think Graham Mertz will start because of Billy Napier. If this dude sends Mertz out against Texas A&M, you'll call it good coaching, Brandon? Answer that. I specifically said the opposite, but okay. But yeah, I think that for someone that said, where is Pup? Pup is out there. A couple guys got banged up. We'll get those injury reports probably Wednesday because it is SEC play, so that they have to release injury reports this week starting Wednesday. So we will get those when the depth chart comes out, I'm assuming. But a couple guys got banged up. And again, there were some things that shouldn't have happened out there, like DJ needs to slide earlier again against a team like Samford. When you don't need to take a hit, don't take a hit. I understand going, oh, we need this first down, I'm going to put my shoulder down. I understand things like that. Just needs some smarter plays out there from everybody, not just DJ. That was just the first example I thought of. But again, Florida blew out a team they were supposed to blow out. I'm not going to complain about it. In fact, I'm going to celebrate that the Florida Gators won, that the Florida Gators looked good in the game for the most part. Offensive line still concerns me. Rob Sale should be not on the staff anymore. I'm done with the offensive line where the two best players on it were Mullen kids. Done with it. It's just done with it there. It needs to be changes. You couldn't push around Charlotte. You couldn't push around Samford. I need changes there. Absolutely. And I think we'll get them at the end of the season, whether it's the entire staff being thrown out or other decisions being made there. But I do think that the entire staff will be replaced. Just based on how fans have reacted to the Miami game, it's brutal. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This will never get old for me. I love this. I love that, we've got it's 11 p.m. on a Saturday night after a game against Samford, and we've got 130 plus people in here. I love it. Thank you all so much for just giving me the opportunity to cover the program that we all love so much. And I will never take that for granted. And Gainesville last week was beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for stopping me. And if you take pictures, tag me in them. If you're going to post them, message them to me. I love them. I keep them. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. We'll be back Monday. Talk more Florida Gators football. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. And I'll see you all next time.